Hi, my name is Aymeric. I'm co-founder and CEO of Scortex. Our goal at Scortex is to bring machines to intelligence. So visual inspection is key in the manufacturing industry, and it's still largely unautomated. This induces large cost, and the accuracy of the inspection will vary a lot. Defective product ending up at a client will induce high cost of returns. So how can we automate those complex visual inspection? This is what we set out to do at Scortex with our turnkey AI platform for industrial machine vision. So first, we have a SaaS platform that enables quality control engineer to easily create custom application for the quality control of their own product. And then, to deploy this application on their production line, we have our own hardware that is plug and play with industrial cameras, and it can communicate easily with the production lines. So we have the application running at the edge right on by the side of the production line. So we are currently focused on the automotive and aerospace aeronautic industry, and we see a potential of 200,000 lines to automate worldwide. To give you a concrete example of what we can do, this is a factory in France where they produce plastic parts for dashboard in cars, and they need to check the quality of the paint. So right now, the quality control costs about $500,000 a year, and with our platform, we're able to reduce that to about 80,000 euros a year. And we also dramatically increase the speed of the inspection from about 30 seconds on average to 2 seconds. So with our solution, we're able to detect, localize, and classify defects. That means we are giving very valuable information on defects and quality of the products to our clients. Inside our hardware, to be able to deliver the service, we needed real-time computing, and this is why we built our proprietary deep learning computing architecture that we have on an FPGA, and our platform is certified for the industrial environment. We need a very robust platform that runs 24/7 for several years, and it's also connected. That means we're connected locally with machines and with the cloud. So we have great competitors that build hardware and software, but what we provide is an inspection service. That means we take care of the infrastructure that is needed for deep learning to work on a factory and at the edge of the factory. So our business model, we are platform as a service. We're completely value-based pricing, ranging from about 20 to 80,000 euros per year per production line. So we are a team of 4 founders. We all have experience in leading manufacturing companies, and we are now 9 based in Paris. So Scortex is a year old. We finished our MVP by the end of 2016. We had our first client beginning of the year, and now we are deploying the solution in the first factory, and are about to close a round of 1.8 million seed round. So I really believe manufacturers really need a smart and easy to integrate vision tools, and this is what we set out to do with Scortex. We want to be the new eyes of the factory. Thank you.
Hey. Come on and bring the mic out here. Scott's ready. Or go ahead, Tracy. Go. Either way. So polite.
Thank you so much. I really like the product that you built. I really like how you've set it up with both the SaaS platform plus the hardware plus the inspection. I think there's a lot of interesting revenue streams there. I'm just wondering about your camera. Is that something that's proprietary, or is that something you're dependent on someone else?
No, we plug and play with any type of industrial cameras.
Great.
Yeah. But we are thinking of integrating a box within the camera. We're talking with several leading industrial camera manufacturers to integrate directly the core processing solution right behind the sensor.
Are you far enough along, or have you figured out whether you need to have a line change in order to accommodate you? In other words, to change the orientation of a product to make sure you're able to see it correctly?
So to integrate our solution, we're working with integrators, of course. And so the change of the production depends on the client. Sometimes there will be changes. That's what that's what the integrator will do. Sometimes there's very little change to do because there is already an inspection that is being done by humans.
What does this cost?
So the price is it's a subscription per year, and it costs between 20 to 80,000 euros per production line.
How have you thought about how the customer finances this? And what I mean by this is I invested in another company that uses cameras to inspect what's going on in a retail location. They found the biggest hurdle they had was actually the cost of installing the cameras so they could collect the data. So I imagine a lot of your customers aren't going to have the cameras there initially, and this is going to be a bit of a step change for them. So that install cost and actually managing that install process, have you thought about how you finance that? Do you spread that cost into your product? Or are you expecting the customer to bear that cost themselves?
So there's a huge, you talked about retail, right?
Yeah, so I
there's a
invested in
huge
retail
difference with
next.
retail because our clients are used to have, or they already have cameras on their plant. Now we are installing new cameras, so there is a setup cost, but it's not that expensive, and they're already used to have cameras, and they're educated on installing cameras on their production line. So there is a setup cost at the beginning, yes.
Could you talk a little bit about your competitors? I manufacture a consumer electronics product, and I would love to have photography taken in machine vision on all of our parts. That'd be wonderful. But I'm just wondering, who else is in this space, and how do you differentiate yourself?
So the biggest competitor was a company called Vides System from Switzerland, and they just got bought by Connex, which is one of the leading vision company. The big difference we have with them is, as I said, is how do we deploy the system. We don't want to sell hardware. We don't want to sell software. We sell the inspection service. And I think that's key because the first step is detecting the defects, but we're producing very valuable information about the defects. And I want to provide more and more services around this platform. Like, the goal is not to detect defects. The goal is not to assess the quality, but the goal is to find why there is defects. And I want to leverage all those information that I gathered to provide more and more solution for my clients to optimize their process and ultimately have perfect quality.
Can you talk a little bit more about your sales process and your sales pipeline? Are you focused mainly on Europe, or are you focused on, just talk a little bit more about how you're thinking about your customers?
Yes. So at the beginning, we were focused in France and Germany, but we're talking usually with pretty large manufacturing companies that have plants all over the world. So we are global by design, actually, by choosing our clients. Sales cycle is quite long. It's 3 to 6 months. But once we show, this is why we do step selling. We start with an evaluation pack where the people come in our lab, and we show them the performance of our solution with their products. And then we have a first plant when we install, and then we then go global installation.
One last question. Anybody else? All set? Okay, thank you very much. Well done.
Thank you.